Welcome to this special abbreviated snow day edition of the CVU Show. We hope you're enjoying your day off. Henry, what's your favorite thing to do during a snow day?
Probably just chilling out and watching some movies. How about you, Nick?
I want to get work done, but then I don't.
Interesting.
We asked you what you like to do on a snow day, and here are your responses.
I like to just sit in and maybe make a glass or a cup of tea and just relax.
I like to hang out with my friends and build snow forts and snow things.
During a snow day, I like to sit at home and play video games. Since all my friends are at home too, I play video games with them.
Go skiing.
During a snow day is probably catch up on sleep.
We'd like to say our thanks to everyone who answered this week's question. Again, if you have a question you would like us to ask, send an email to cvushow@cvsdbt.org.
You know, it may be a snow day, but that doesn't mean we can't have our fun fact. December 16th is the 247th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, the event where the Sons of Liberty disguised themselves as Mohawk Native Americans, took control of British ships, and dumped 342 chests of tea into Boston Harbor as a protest against the tea tax.
And now, a moment of silence for the tea lost in this event.
Driver's ed requests for the 2022-23 school year are now closed. If you are interested in taking driver's ed at CVU, please request a class with your school counselor during spring scheduling for the 23-24 school year. If you've requested driver's ed and did not get the class for the 2022-23 school year, you'll need to request it again during spring scheduling. If spots just so happen to open up during the add drop period at the beginning of each semester, the oldest one on the list will be called in. There just so happens to be a link on the CVU Daily Announcement stock for more information.
And now here's Alessandro with an exclusive interview for Cyber Patriots.
Hey everyone, my name is Alessandro. I'm here with Charlie McFadden. He's the digital learning leader here at CVU, and I heard you guys started a Cyber Patriot team. So could you maybe tell me a little bit more about what that is?
Sure, yeah. We've actually had the team for a while now, but it does meet during C3 on Mondays, which has been really helpful for moving the team forward. And it's actually a cybersecurity club, and one of the activities we do is called Cyber Patriots, which is a competition, it's an online competition where students compete against teams from all over the world, actually, and they have to solve problems with, essentially they're given images of computers that have issues with them, and they need to repair the issues, and then they get to see how they stack up against other teams all over the world.
Nice. And what are you guys competing for exactly?
Well, I mean, it's a tournament where theoretically we could go on to the nationals. We're not quite there yet, but I think really it's interesting to see how we rank against other teams. But more than that, it's a great problem-solving activity. I think students really just have fun doing it. Nice. I think that's the most important part.
Nice. And where do you see the team evolving or going in the future?
Well, that's a great question. There are certainly other of those types of competitions that we are exploring, and we also would welcome any ideas from any new members who might want to join us, because it's a great way to learn cybersecurity by actually doing and sort of having fun with it as well.
Nice. And I heard that the Math League also won, or they won a meet or something. Could you maybe tell me something about that?
Sure. Yeah, I coach the Math League team with Mr. McCormick, and he does a C3 Math League, and I do on Mondays, and I do it on Wednesdays. And we have 5 meets a year, and in the 30-odd year history of Math League, I don't believe CVU has ever won a meet, and we did this just this week. There were 15 teams, and we came out in first, and we're actually leading the league this season. So with 3 meets to go, we're pretty excited.
And so how are you guys feeling about this season and going forward with that?
I'm feeling really good. And again, I want to say it's fun to win, but also it's just a great group of people to work with, great enthusiasm, great camaraderie, and we just look forward to seeing how things turn out.
All right, thanks so much, Charlie. That'll do it for the interview about Cyber Patriots and the Math League. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Alessandro.
And if you haven't already, please donate to the Toys for Kids Presents Drive Barrels in the main office and Direction Center. Donate by December 20th. That's when all the toys will be officially donated. And now, here's Ree with sports.
I'm your host, Rihanna, and welcome to this week's edition of CVU Sports. Varsity hockey hits the ice as the boys take on Burton tomorrow at 6:20 p.m. for the home opener at Carnes Arena. The girls will take on Rutland away on Monday the 19th, and puck drop is at 4 p.m. Girls gymnastics has their first meet of the new season at SB this Saturday at 1:45 p.m. Boys varsity basketball will take on Mount Anthony tomorrow on the road at 1 p.m. This is after a dominating 60-48 win at Rutland. Let's hand it over to our special guest correspondent, Frankie, to again talk about this year's World Cup.
Bonjour, I am Francois and welcome back to your World Cup report. I am here to update you on where all the teams are now that we are ready for the final match. Argentina beat out Croatia in a not very close game for a spot in the finals, and we glorious French easily defeated those English fools. Ho ho ho, they can't even score a second penalty kick. If France does win, we are looking to be the second team to ever win it 2 times in a row since Brazil a very, very long time ago. And so we face the final battle, Mbappe versus Messi, this Saturday. Make sure to tune in and cheer on for who you want to win and who gets to be the greatest nation in the world for the next 4 years. I, for one, don't want France to lose the title. Allons, enfants de la patrie, le jeu de gloire. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Frankie, for another great World Cup presentation. In other news, Matthew interviewed Ricky McCollum about this year's winter sports season.
My name is Matthew, and today I am joined by Ricky McCollum, CVU's Activities Director. So with the upcoming winter season, what do you see in that?
I see another opportunity to engage the students. I'm excited for it. I think the students are as well. You know, a lot of the sports are going to be indoor, so it's going to be an opportunity to bring the student body, faculty, and staff all together in the community just to really support the kids. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to bring on some different challenges, but I'm excited.
Yeah. So what kind of challenges do you see then?
As far as the challenges, I think it'll be a little bit different from the standpoint that other than basketball and wrestling, a lot of the sports are off-site, you know, so whether that's at GMTC for gymnastics, Carnes Arena for hockey, you know, and different places where Nordic and Alpine are at, you know, is trying to figure out how to get that student engagement and let them feel just as important as the teams that are here on site. So we're going to try to get creative with busing students to go and support them at certain events and try to be creative.
So do you find it hard to do that, or?
No, I mean, you know, nothing good comes without challenges, you know, so I'd look at it as another challenge, but an opportunity to be creative in what we do. And you know, even if it's just, you know, the first 10 students that go on the bus get free T-shirts to go support, you know, our ski team up on the hills. You know, I think it would be a great opportunity.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on out, Ricky. Thank you for spending your time with us. And that will do it for this little segment. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. And that's this week's edition of CVU Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ree and Frankie, for the sports news. We're sorry about your teams not making it into the World Cup finale.
There is only one more World Cup game. Watch the CVU Show next week for Frankie's wrap-up edition of the 2022 World Cup. Next week will be our last show before the break, so join us for a few festive bits.
And that's all the news for this week. My name is Nick.
And my name is Henry.
And we've been your hosts for this week's show. We'll see you next week.
Ho ho ho! Allons, enfants de la patrie! Le jeu de gloire. Back to you in the studio!